Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janavalabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana 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 Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Radha Madhav, Jaya Radha Madhav, Radha Madhav, Jaya Radha Madhav. Jaya Panchatattva, Jaya Panchatattva, Panchatattva, Jaya Panchatattva. Jaya Prahlad Singha, Jaya Prahlad Singha, Jaya Prahlad Singha, Jaya Prahlad Singha. Jaya 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 Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Shri Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Nigamakalpataruragalitam phalam sukamukadam rృతాద్రవసంయుతం bibada bhagavata rasamalayam muhuraho rasika bhuvi bhavuka Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tatorjayam udirayet nashtaprayesha bhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavatyuttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtaki. Hare Krishna. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Creation, Chapter number 17, Punishment and Reward of Kali, Text number 37. Hare Krishna. Tanme dharma-bhṛtāṁ śreṣṭha sthānam nirdeṣṭum arhasi yatraiva niyato vatsya ātiṣṭhaṁs anuśāsanam. Tanme dharma-bhṛtāṁ śreṣṭha. Tanme dharma-bhṛtāṁ śreṣṭha. Sthānam nirdeṣṭum arhasi. Sthānam nirdeṣṭum arhasi. Yatraiva niyato vatsya. Yatraiva niyato vatsya. ātiṣṭhaṁs nuśāsanam. ātiṣṭhaṁs nuśāsanam. Tanme dharma-bhṛtāṁ śreṣṭha. Sthānam nirdeṣṭum arhasi. Yatraiva niyato vatsya. ātiṣṭhaṁs nuśāsanam. Tanme dharma-bhṛtāṁ śreṣṭha. Sthānam nirdeṣṭum arhasi. yatraiva niyato vatsya ātiṣṭhaṁs te nuśāsanam. Tanme dharma-bhṛtāṁ śreṣṭha sthānaṁ nirdeṣṭum arhasi niyato vatsya ātiṣṭhaṁs te nuśāsanam. Tanme dharma-bhṛtāṁ śreṣṭha sthānaṁ nirdeṣṭum arhasi yatraiva niyato vatsya ātiṣṭhaṁs te nuśāsanam. Tanme dharma-bhṛtāṁ śreṣṭha sthānaṁ nirdeṣṭum arhasi yatraiva niyato vatsya ātiṣṭhaṁs te nuśāsanam. Matajis. Okay, please continue. Tanme dharma-bhṛtāṁ śreṣṭha sthānaṁ nirdeṣṭum arhasi yatraiva niyato vatsya ātiṣṭhaṁs te nuśāsanam. Tanme dharma-bhṛtāṁ śreṣṭha sthānaṁ nirdeṣṭum arhasi yatraiva niyato vatsya ātiṣṭhaṁs te nuśāsanam. Tanme dharma-bhṛtāṁ śreṣṭha sthānaṁ nirdeṣṭum arhasi yatraiva niyato vatsya ātiṣṭhaṁs te nuśāsanam. One Prabhu wanted to read, please complete it. It's okay, please continue. Tanme dharma-bhṛtāṁ śreṣṭha sthānaṁ nirdeṣṭum arhasi yatraiva niyato vatsya ātiṣṭhaṁs te nuśāsanam. Tat, therefore, me, dharma-bhṛtāṁ, of all the protectors of religion, śreṣṭha, O chief, sthānam, place, nirdeṣṭum, fix, arhasi, may you do so, yatra, where, eva, certainly, niyatāḥ, always, vatsye, can reside, ātiṣṭhan, permanently situated, te, your, anuśāsanam, under your rule. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation, please repeat. Therefore, O chief amongst the protectors of religion, please fix some place for me where I can live permanently under the protection of your government. Purport. The personality of Kali addressed Mahārāja Parīkṣit as the chief amongst the protectors of religiosity because the king refrained from killing a person who surrendered unto him. A surrendered soul should be given all protection, even though he may be an enemy. That is the principle of religion. And we can just imagine what sort of protection is given by the personality of Godhead to the person who surrenders unto him, not as an enemy, but as a devoted servitor. The Lord protects the surrendered soul from all sins and all resultant reactions of sinful acts. Bhagavad-Gita 18.66. Om Ajnanatimidandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam pangam langayite girim yatkripatamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinadaranam Paramanandamadam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Katanchana Smrite Yasmin Dushkaram Sukaram Bhavet Vismrite Viparitam Syat Shri Chaitanyam Namamitam Namam Vishpadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhagavate Srimate Jayapataka Swamiti Namacharya Padantaka Prabhudani Gaurudani. Hare Krishna. I will read the translation one more time. Therefore, O chief amongst the protectors of religion, please fix some place for me where I can live permanently under the protection of your government. Hare Krishna. So we are in a very wonderful stage in Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto. In this chapter, 17th chapter, punishment and reward of Kali. So previously we have discussed about how Kali Purusha was attacking the four legs which represents austerity, truthfulness, cleanliness and mercifulness. Yeah. So it's standing only on one leg, that is truthfulness. So Parīkṣit Maharaj is a very, very dedicated king, and he do not tolerate anything going wrong in his kingdom. So here he is seeing Kali Purusha in the garb of a king. He's trying to attack the poor animals. So he has taken up his sword to vanquish Kali Purusha. And then the Kali understood that he is going to be killed. He cannot escape from Parīkṣit Maharaj. And in various purports earlier, Prabhupada explains how actual leader or actual king supposed to be leading the society, the kingdom. So here in this verse, it is reiterated the merciful nature and a religious leader. How a religious leader, religious king, he leads by example. So anyone who surrenders unto him, they shall get the protection. So here Prabhupada is explaining about how Parīkṣit Maharaj is giving protection, is accepting the submission of Kali. Even though Kali is causing so much of trouble. So this is the nature of Raja Rishis. This is the nature of the great leaders. This is part of the dharma, religiosity. So that's why here he's addressed, Parīkṣit Maharaj is addressed as dharma-bhṛtāṁ śreṣṭha. Dharma-bhṛtāṁ śreṣṭha. The chief of the protectors of religion. Why? He's following the religious principles. Even though the enemy is coming in front of us, seeking protection in a submissive mood, then the person to whom one is submitted, he gives protection, he accepts. And we have seen in many instances in the history how these sort of people are protected, accepted, even though they are coming from the enemy camp, even though they are full of sinful activities. If we go back to Ramayana, where Vibhishana comes from the enemy's party and surrenders to Lord Ramachandra. All the ministers surrounding around Lord Ramachandra were very skeptical, very doubtful. Oh, probably he could be a spy of Ravana. That's why he has come. Otherwise, what is the need for him to come? Then Lord Ramachandra said, no, even if he is an enemy, no problem. If he is surrendering, we should accept it. So the Lord himself established what we should do and what we should not do. So in our day-to-day life, if we see we practicing devotees, we are all coming from different backgrounds. We are all in different stages in our devotional service. Some of us are in the beginning stage. Some of us are little in advanced stage. Some of us are in very, very advanced stage. So there are different stages in which we are doing devotional service. Some are doing mixed devotional service. Some are doing pure devotional service. So there are different levels of devotional services there. Some are in pure bhakti. Some are in karma mishra bhakti. Some are in jnana mishra bhakti. So different stages are there. So Krishna accepts all the services rendered by different devotees. He is not saying, oh, you should only be a pure devotee if you want to come to me. No. Krishna says in the 7th chapter of Bhagavad-Gita very clearly, 4 types of people approach him. Chaturvida bhajante mam jana sukritino arjuna arto jignashur artati jnanicha bharatarshava. One who desires wealth can approach Krishna. One who is full of distress can approach Krishna. One who is very, very inquisitive can approach Krishna. One who wants to surrender fully, he can approach Krishna. So different, Krishna accepts. So Krishna doesn't say, no, you should only be a pure devotee if you want to come to me. No. Krishna accepts different people in different levels. So what we can understand is at our different levels in devotional service, we can approach Krishna. So in order to do that, we should understand one important, very, very important thing. So we should understand who Krishna is. So we should understand that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then we also should know what is our position, what is our identity. Our identity or our position is we are all eternal servants of Krishna. This is a fundamental thing we should understand. Even at least theoretically we should understand this. We are all servants of Krishna. In due course of time we may get realization about this. But at least theoretically we should understand and accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In Bhagavad-Gita introduction, Prabhupada mentions, if you want to understand, if anybody wants to understand Bhagavad-Gita, then one should at least theoretically accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is a very important thing. But in today's condition of this material world, everybody, 99.99% of the people do not know this particular aspect. What is that? We are all going through this identity crisis. We do not know who we are, but we are making big plans. All of us are making big plans. How to make money, how to be happy. How to be happy. The basic thing is not there. What is that? In this material world we cannot be happy. But we are making big plans to become happy. Whatever happiness that we are getting in this material world is very just tiny speck. And it is temporary. This is temporary and very insignificant. And for this purpose we are making huge amount of plans. Huge amount of plans. We are very proud with our very little intelligence that we have got. We are very proud of our intelligence. That's why people are not accepting Krishna consciousness. Why? We are proud of our intelligence. This pride comes on our way. If this pride goes away, then things will happen properly. Why there is a pride? Because we don't know who we are. We think that we are great. We think we can do many things. We think we can solve all our problems of life. We think we are the master. That's why we have this pride. So how to remove this pride? We have to come to the platform of our original identity. What is that original identity? We are all Krishna's eternal servant. So unless this understanding is there is no question of surrender and things like that. So this is the most important thing to understand. So we all can approach Krishna for different reasons. So in the 7th chapter of Bhagavad-Gita, it is explained how some people who approach demigods because they think, oh, we don't no need to go to Krishna for this. We can approach demigod. So Krishna says they are all approaching me indirectly. Avadi purvakam, Krishna says. They are approaching me indirectly. But for the same reason, if we approach Krishna, whatever material desires we have, whatever distresses we have, in order to remove these things, we approach Krishna. In due course of time, we get purified because of our association with Krishna, because of our remembrance of the lotus feet of Krishna. In due course of time, we get purified. Our materialistic ideas, views gets purified. So this is very important for all to understand, that we must approach Krishna under any circumstance. Akama sarva kamova moksha kamo dharadevi tivrena bhakti yoge nejeta purusham param. If you don't have any material desires, we can approach Krishna. If we have material desires, we can approach Krishna. So for anything we can approach Krishna. Why? Krishna is our father. Bhagavad Gita and Krishna says that I am the father of all living entities. I am the seed-giving father of everyone. So if we don't approach Father, whom we are going to approach for our needs? If our Father cannot sort out our problems, who is going to sort out our problems? If our Father do not reveal Himself about Himself, then who is going to tell us who is He? That's why the scriptures are called as revealed scriptures. We cannot understand Krishna. How can we understand Krishna? With our blunt material senses, we cannot understand Krishna. Krishna's name, form, quality, pastimes, all these things cannot be understood with our blunt material senses. Rupa Goswami says, how we can understand? By using this tongue. This tongue should be used in the service of Krishna by chanting the holy names of the Lord and honoring the remnants of the food offered for the pleasure of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. By this process, we can purify and come to that platform of understanding who we are. Ata Shri Krishna Namadi na bhaved grayam indire sevan mukhehi jivadu swayam yeva spuratyadaha. So this is what we should do. And there are different processes of devotional service. When we accept any of them or all of them, then we get the required result. And the foremost of the 9 processes of devotional service for us as practicing devotees is Shravanam and Kirtanam. This is very important for us to understand. So Krishna says in the 18th chapter of Bhagavad-Gita, I just wanted to read some parts of the purport of the 18th chapter of Bhagavad-Gita. Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami masuchaha. The translation goes like this: abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. Do not worry. Do not doubt. Who says this? Krishna says this. Krishna never fails in his words. We all know that. We all can fail. Krishna will never fail in his words. Krishna says, just reject everything, come to me. And Bhagavatam starts from that point. Dharma-bhṛtāṁ kaitavota paramo nirmatsaranam satam vedyam vastavam matra vastu shivadam tarapatrayon mulanam. It starts from there. Just reject all cheating religions. Here Krishna, where he ends? Abandon all types of religion, just surrender unto me. So from the point of surrender, Bhagavatam starts. So Bhagavatam is a higher study. Bhagavad Gita is basics. Bhagavatam is a higher study, right? So in this purport, Prabhupada, I'll just read some part of the purport. In the 7th chapter, it is said that only one who has become free from all sinful reactions can take to the worship of Lord Krishna. Thus, one may think that unless he is free from all sinful reactions, he cannot take to the surrendering process. To such doubts, it is here said that even if one is not free from all sinful reactions, Prabhupada is so merciful. See the merciful nature of Prabhupada, right? Even he gives lots of hopes for all of us. Thus one may think that unless one is free from all sinful reaction, he cannot take up to the surrendering process. To such doubts, it is here said that even if one is not free from all sinful reactions, simply by the process of surrendering to Sri Krishna, he is automatically freed. Simply by surrendering. Even somebody is very sinful, no problem, they can approach Krishna. They will be freed from all sins. One should unhesitatingly accept Krishna as the supreme savior of all living entities. With faith and love, one should surrender unto him. With faith and love, one should surrender unto him. So next there will be a natural question. How do we develop this faith? How do we develop this love? So all these things are already, all the answers are already given. Rupa Goswami given all the answers. Ado Shraddha Tato Sadhu Sangha. By the association with devotees, our faith becomes stronger. Our devotional service becomes more determined, consistent in the association of devotees. Then we start reading the scriptures in the association of devotees. And then we come to the point of accepting a spiritual master, surrendering unto a spiritual master. Anartha nivrittis takes place. All the anarthas gradually goes away. And then comes to the point of nishtha, that is firmness. Nobody can detract us from our path of bhakti. If somebody comes, oh Mataji, oh Prabhu, please let's go here, there. No. We are very clear what we want to do. That's the stage of nishtha. And then comes the higher rungs of devotional service. So this association of devotees is very important in order to firm up our faith towards the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. In Hari Bhakti Vilasa, it is mentioned, the process of surrender to Krishna is described. What are the different processes of surrender? Anukulyasya sankalpa pratikulasya varjanam rakshishyete iti vishvaso gopatritve varnam tata atma nikshepa karpanye sadvita saranagati. So these are the 6 different processes of surrender explained in Hari Bhakti Vilas. So Prabhupada explains here, according to the devotional process, one should simply accept such religious principles that will lead ultimately to the devotional service of the Lord. One may perform a particular occupational duty according to his position in the social order, but if by executing his duty one does not come to the point of Krishna consciousness, all his activities are in vain. So whatever activities we do, it should encourage us to practice devotional service. It encourages us to remind us about Krishna. Even in the earlier, in Bhagavatam, the first chapter itself, it is mentioned, dharma svanushtita pumsaha vishvaksena katasuyah notpadayet yadiratim shrama evahi kevalam. If our activities do not provoke attraction towards Krishna, do not remind us about Krishna, then such activities are simply useless labor. Simply useless labor. So basically, the simple thing, anukulyasya sankalpa means accept everything that is favorable for Krishna consciousness. And pratikulasya varjinaha means reject everything that is not favorable for devotional service. So this is part of this surrendering process. So the kings and leaders of those days, they offered protection. So if these kings can offer protection to the enemies, so Prabhupada is making a statement, what about Krishna? If somebody surrenders to Krishna, oh my dear Krishna, my dear Lord, I've done some mistake, please forgive me. And Krishna will accept it. Krishna will accept it, provided it is not a Vaishnava aparadha. Provided it is not a Vaishnava aparadha. Vaishnava aparadha means Krishna doesn't accept. Go to Vaishnava. We all know the story of Durvasa Muni, how he went to different places. Nobody can do anything. Finally, he went to the Personality of Godhead. He said, no, please go back to Ambarish Maharaj. So, Krishna do not accept blasphemy towards a Vaishnava. So one should be very careful about that. If we do some seva aparadha, then it's okay. Krishna can accept. Oh, okay, we are all imperfect. We are all full of imperfections in this material world. We can do something wrong. Krishna can tolerate. Krishna tolerates everything. But Krishna do not tolerate excuse me. Krishna do not tolerate about Vaishnava aparadha. Hmm. So Krishna is very, very merciful. The Supreme Lord is always very merciful. And that is why he enabled the process of surrender by adventing himself as a devotee of the Lord. By adventing himself as a devotee of the Lord. That is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He came to give and give. There is no give and take here. He just came to give and give. What he is giving? He is giving Krishna prema to everyone, which was not given by any other incarnations of the Lord in the past. He has come only to give this Krishna prema to everyone. And the merciful is at its height because he is giving this to everyone. Anyone and everyone. He and his associate Lord Nityananda. If you go to Godrumadvip, Surabhikunja, that's where Lord Nityananda started when he was staying there for 3 months. He stayed there for 3 months in Godrumadvip under the instructions of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Puri, he stayed here for 3 months. He opened up the marketplace of holy name. So we all know the song, Nadiya Godrume Nityananda Mahajan Pati ache naam hata jibera karan. So he opened the marketplace to give this holy name to everyone. And what is required? What is required for that? Shraddhavan jana hai, Shraddhavan jana, Pati ache naam hata jivera karan. This is what is required, nothing else. Nothing else is required. He started this. And today it's all over the world. All over the world it is there. What is this there? This is Namahata. This Namahata preaching is going on. Any two people can join and start doing Krishna Katha. That's the concept. Different parts of India, different parts of the world. So many devotees are practicing devotional service because of the mercy of Lord Nityananda. He didn't mind. He and Haridas Thakur went door to door. And they used to give every day preaching report to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They gave preaching report every day to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Oh, this happened. We met this people. So they gave reports to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And we all know the episode of Jagai Madai, how they met. And these two, Jagai Madai, they were drunkards. And Nityananda Prabhu was thinking, if we are able to make this, then the glory of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will spread far and wide. So they didn't mind approaching these drunkards to preach Krishna consciousness. They told them, please chant Hare Krishna. And then in a drunken mood, one of them threw the pot, broken earthen pot, on the head of Nityananda Prabhu. The blood was flowing. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he heard about this, he took the Sudarshan Chakra, wanted to vanquish Jagai and Madai. Then Nityananda Prabhu had to remind him, please, you have to vanquish their demoniac mood. Otherwise you have to kill all the people of this material world. Everybody is demoniac. Then Jagai was given the mercy. And then Madai was not given. Why? Because Madai is the one who threw the pot, earthen pot. No, I cannot give. Then Lord Nityananda said, I will give all the piety to them. Please give your mercy to him. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu immediately accepted. Immediately accepted. Look at the merciful nature of Lord Nityananda. He was willing to give all his piety to make one person surrender to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. To make one person receive the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. He was willing to give all piety, everything, what he has accumulated. He was willing to give that. That's why we say the Lord and His devotees are all very merciful. Every day we recite this prayer of Vaishnava Pranam. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. They are like desired trees. So no wonder Parīkṣit Maharaj accepted when somebody surrendered, somebody like even Kali, the most inimical person, when he surrendered, he accepted that. Because he is a great Vaishnava, pure devotee of the Lord. So nobody need to be surprised about this. That is the nature. Even amongst devotees circle here and elsewhere, different places, many devotees make mistakes. But the pure devotees of the Lord, they accept them. Okay, that next time try not to do that. They keep giving chances again and again and again. Why? Because we are very merciful. We all know, everybody knows, particularly the pure devotees know very well, in this material world it's very difficult to practice pure devotional service. Every step we take, second step we may fall. Padam padam yat vipadam. Every step there is a danger. Every step there is a challenge of falling down. Anybody can fall down at any time. So one should be very, very careful, very careful. That's why we need the association of devotees with whose help alone we can tread on the path of bhakti. Otherwise it's going to be very, very difficult for us. I would like to read some portion of this verse where Prabhupada explains very nicely about the mood of Kunti Maharani in this prayer. Vipada santuta shashvat tatra tatra jagat guru bhavato darshanam yatsyat apunar bhava darshanam. So in this purport, Prabhupada explains, I'll read this purport, very, very interesting purport. Generally the distressed, the needy, the intelligent and the inquisitive who have performed all pious activities worship or begin to worship the Lord. Others who are thriving on misdeeds only, regardless of status, cannot approach the Supreme due to being misled by the illusory energy. Therefore, for a pious person, if there is some calamity, there is no other alternative than to take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. Constantly remembering the lotus feet of the Lord means preparing for liberation from birth and death. Therefore, even though there are so-called calamities, they are welcome because they give us an opportunity to remember the Lord, which means liberation. So when we remember the Lord, it means liberation. So when we have difficulties, we should pray to Krishna. We generally pray to Krishna when we have difficulties, right? So here Kunti Maharani is praying to Krishna for what? For giving more difficulties. Please give me more difficulties so that I can remember you more. No, I don't think any of us pray for that. I don't think we need to pray. Automatically it comes. Without praying, we get more and more difficulties, right? One who has taken shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, which are accepted as a most suitable boat for crossing the ocean of nescience, can achieve liberation as easily as one leaps over the holes made by the hoofs of a calf. Such persons are meant to reside in the abode of the Lord, and they have nothing to do with a place where there is danger in every step. So it's very easy when we surrender to the lotus feet of the Lord, then crossing this material world, ocean of material world becomes very, very easy, as easy as crossing the water collected in the hoof print of a calf. This material world is certified by the Lord in the Bhagavad-Gita as a dangerous place full of calamities. Less intelligent persons prepare plans to adjust to those calamities without knowing the nature of this place, that this place itself is full of calamities. So less intelligent people make a lot of plans how to overcome these difficulties. They have no information of the abode of the Lord. The duty of the sane person, therefore, is to be undisturbed by worldly calamities, which are sure to happen in all circumstances. Suffering all sorts of unavoidable misfortunes, one should make progress in spiritual realization, because that is the mission of human life. The spirit soul is transcendental to all material calamities. Therefore, the so-called calamities are called false. A man may see a tiger swallowing him in a dream, and he may cry for his calamity. Actually, there is no tiger and there is no suffering. It is simply a case of dream. If someone is lucky enough to get in contact with the Lord by devotional service, it is all gain. Contact with the Lord by any one of the 9 process of devotional service is always a forward step on the path of going back to Godhead. So somehow or other, we should try to remember Krishna. So in Chaitanya Charitamrita it's mentioned, Katanchana smrite yasmin dushkaram sukaram bhavet vismrite viparitam syat Sri Chaitanyam namamitam. Katanchana means somehow or other. Smrite yasmin. When we remember Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, somehow or other, then dushkaram sukaram bhavet. Even the most difficult things becomes easy for us to perform by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. When we fail to remember Lord Chaitanya in the course of our life, then even the most difficult things most easiest things become very difficult for us. So we should always try to worship Lord Chaitanya, who is the most merciful form of the Lord, who is non-different from Srimati Radharani and Lord Sri Krishna. So we should take the best advantage of this situation where we are present today, and we have the opportunity to practice devotional service under the guidance of Srila Prabhupada and all his followers. So we should take this opportunity and surrender to Krishna, and then become the recipient of the protection of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna. Hare Krishna. If you have any questions or comments, we have 5 minutes more time. Okay, thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam Grantaraj ki Jai.